I get very silly in my Secret Lair review videos. It's actually a bit of a joy to think up wild and wacky mini-skits of floating heads yelling "New Secret Lair alert" as a prelude to financial breakdown of each new Secret Lair drop. But that's not going to happen in this video because those skits are jokes, and this is not a joke. Secret Lairs are broken. They are failing, and they need to be fixed. Blah, 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 blah. To be clear, when I say Secret Lairs are failing, I do not mean that they are failing to sell. By all accounts, Secret Lairs sell and sell well, and both are and have been an enormous revenue stream for Magic the Gathering. No, Secret Lairs are not failing the Hasbro Corporation as a money-making product. But they are failing the customers who buy the product that corporation makes, namely us. Secret Lairs are failing us. And I want to not only discuss the how and the why, but also offer some reasonable solutions to fix the issue. What exactly is the issue? Well, if you have tried to buy a Secret Lair in the last year, especially one of the better, more desirable Secret Lairs, I'm pretty positive you already know what the issue is. But to be precise, last year, Secret Lairs were shifted from a print-to-demand product offered for a short yet reasonable amount of time on the Secret Lair website to a product of limited supply, and this has brought with it all sorts of problems. The first, and I feel biggest issue, is simply that not all players who wanted to buy a Secret Lair could do so. Secret Lairs would go on sale early Monday morning and oftentimes be sold out by end of day. Sometimes sold out by midday, sometimes sold out within a few hours. And all other problems aside, and there are indeed other problems, this is the biggest. If you have people who want to buy your product, especially when your product is literally just cardboard, then you should reasonably make that product available to those customers. Leaving a large portion of your customer base unable to buy your product results in customer frustration and disappointment and player dissatisfaction. Keep in mind that these are not just collectibles, but also game pieces. And many times these are game pieces that are exclusive to Secret Lairs. So if they sell out before you are able to log in and buy them, you simply do not have access to the pieces that are a part of playing the game. And again, I am not just talking about special artworks. If it was just special artworks, that would be another matter. But there are so many exclusive cards that are offered through Secret Lairs. And as far as I can tell, we're apparently no longer getting these inside of booster packs with universes within versions. So if you missed out on Deadpool or many of the other exclusives that have been offered over the past year, well, then you just don't have those game pieces. You're going to have to buy them on the secondary market. More on that in a moment. But there's other issues as well. This manufactured scarcity causes everyone interested in the Secret Lairs to try their best to log in and buy them immediately, often leading to huge wait times as the website and servers struggle to handle the enormous demand that is all of a sudden happening all at once. Giant lines, huge extended waiting times. And again, this is all first thing Monday morning usually. This is when people have work and school. And it's not always a guarantee that the items are going to be there waiting for you at the end of the line. They usually are, but not always. You think not being able to buy the new Secret Lair is a bad thing? Try taking the morning off work so that you can log into a laggy Secret Lair website, waiting in line 1, 2, even 3 hours, and then being told, oops, all gone. Now your only option is to buy the Secret Lairs from the scalpers who beat you to it. Not only do these problems exist with the new Secret Lair system, but seemingly they are getting worse. Last week's Final Fantasy drop was one of the worst experiences yet, with even some of the most enfranchised and typically positive Magic players and creators expressing utter misery and exasperation at this system. Honestly, what happened with this Final Fantasy drop sucked. It just flat sucked. And here's the thing, it didn't used to be this way. Wizards of the Coast created these issues by choice. It's almost as if they want you to have the experience of needing to log in early in the morning and fight and wait and hope for just a chance at buying their product, because prior to last year's change, none of these issues existed. Previously, Secret Lairs were print to demand and available for a short but reasonable window, which allowed players time to log in when they got off work, on the weekend even, whenever they were available, and pick up as many of whichever secret lair they wanted. And I need to remind everyone of this because it feels like collectively we've forgotten. I need to remind you all that under the prior system, there were no lines. Ever. You logged in and immediately could add to your cart without delay. I need to remind you all that under the prior system, items did not sell out. You could purchase what you needed at fixed, reasonable prices. I need to remind you of this because these issues just did not exist. We had a system without waking up early to wait in line Monday morning for a product that might sell out. It existed and it worked, and it was changed on purpose. And now it needs to change back. Print to demand and a reasonable window of availability needs to return to Secret Lairs. This is simply ridiculous. The reason stated for this change was to allow Wizards of the Coast to ship you your secret lair immediately, eliminating delays. And yes, I will admit, there were huge delays and waits required under the old print-to-demand system. However, towards the time that this change occurred, those delays had been significantly reduced. And I would argue there is no reason that investing in further solutions to further reduce those delays should not have been the priority. Don't change to manufactured scarcity, just keep investing in reducing those wait times. Wizards of the Coast should not have abandoned print to demand because there were issues with delayed product. Invest some of that money, and there's quite a lot of money, and tap into some of those incredibly talented people, and there are some really talented people at your disposal to work towards resolving the issue. I would rather wait a little bit for my secret lair than deal with the current broken and failing system that we have now. Under the old system, the worst example of a delayed secret lair was the commander deck Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, which took nearly 1 year to be delivered. And you know what? Yeah, I complained about that near-year delay. I'll admit it, it was absolutely unacceptable. And while the reasons for these delays were never made public, the widespread belief is that the nature of that specific commander deck, which had a huge mix of foil and non-foil cards, as well as so many foil double-sided cards, not to mention extras such as a metallic, is-it-themed coin, etc., all of that led to unexpected production difficulties. And that's not to excuse it. Both of these things can be true, you know. That was too long of a wait, and also the current secret lair system is not working. Both can be true. There are multiple layers of unacceptable at play here. But I still believe that the wait we experienced for Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, along with the wait times for some of the first secret lairs, has perhaps colored many people's memories of secret lair wait times. And as someone who had to buy and review pretty much every secret lair and experience those wait times, I believe that just before we made this switch to limited supply, these issues had largely been resolved, and secret lairs arrived in a much more reasonable amount of time, though yes, there was still a delay, possibly of a few months, and that certainly is not ideal. But that doesn't mean there aren't solutions. More than anything, I simply feel that investing in ways to, behind the scenes, expedite printing and fulfillment is a much better use of resources and a much better goal so as to allow a return to print to demand. One idea that I'm a big fan of is the possibility of using both systems to allow all players to be satisfied. Why not have both a limited print supply and also print to demand? Wizards of the Coast could choose to continue on as they do now with pre-printed product that ships immediately And then when it sells out, switch over to a print-to-demand window that lasts for, I don't know, let's say 1 to 2 weeks. Customers who arrived late or otherwise could not get the initial limited print supply could still order their secret lair, but with the understanding that it will now take, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks to arrive or whatever. So this would ensure that everyone who wants the product could get it. And even still, it creates that excitement of wanting to log in as soon as a drop goes live because, hey, that's how you ensure you are one of the first to get your hands on the new secret lair. But it also ensures that you are not the only ones to get it, and everyone will have access to the print-to-demand window. And I don't know, maybe that's not the solution. Maybe there's a better one out there. In fact, I think there are probably many more solutions that can be thought up if solving this issue is made the priority, and it needs to be made the priority. It just needs to be fixed already. And if nothing else, I firmly believe they can simply work hard behind the scenes and use some of that ungodly amount of cash they earn off of us to simply decrease the wait time with print to demand. Print to demand and ship quickly. This is not mutually exclusive. But whatever the solution, the reality is simply this. Secret layers are broken and they need to be fixed. I want to go back to making silly skits about just how many of these damn things there are. Woo, new secret layer alert. I should not have to be stuck in another line for another sold out product ever again. And no one else should have to be either. But of course, as usual, that is just my opinion, and now I want to hear from you. Do you think there is a problem with secret layers? Do you prefer this system as to the old print to demand, or do you want to go back? Let me know in the comments below. And I do hope that this video was of some interest to you, though if you would like a more lighthearted and fun way to experience Magic the Gathering, perhaps I could interest you in the newest episode of Shuffle Up and Play, where we play Commander with Hire from Playing with Power, Amy the Amazonian, and Covert Go Blue. You can check that video out by clicking here or linked in this video's description.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Today, I have brought in CEDH players, but we've built casual decks. I told you bracket 1.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You said you're changing the rules.
You texted me. I came up with this content idea.
I thought it was just casual. I don't know it was a firm bracket.
Wait, what's yours? Is your higher
Mine's
bracket?
bracket 1.
Okay.
You're always bracket 1. No, hang on. Do you normally just carry a Geiger counter around with you?
Did you buy this from Bethesda?
So, you know,
it's milk, right?
So it's after you draw. What you do for that is...
Thank you. Sorry. Yes.
There we go.
I hate that. That's much better. It makes.
I take 5, going down to...
I
don't know what this is. What are you doing?
It's the tune Take 5. It's a jazz standard.
You got Brubeck.